All right, welcome everyone. Beautiful day.
Yeah.
Nice to have you all here. We'll begin with the first item, which is to approve the agenda. Do you have any additions or deletions?
So moved.
All right, we have a motion by Representative Scrava
I'll second.
and seconded by Commissioner McIntyre. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. The agenda is approved. The minutes from June 25th, 2024 are in your packet. Do you have any additions, corrections, deletions?
Move to approve the minutes.
All right.
I'll
Councilor
second.
Blower, you moved?
Yes.
Okay.
I'll second it.
All right. Second from Commissioner Roach. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Very good. The next item is from our SBDC consultant, Jenny Herman, who is very familiar with.
Treasurer's report.
Pardon?
Treasurer's report.
We can do
Oh,
that
okay.
after.
We can do that. Is that you're okay with that?
Oh, I'm okay as long as you don't care. I'm pretty excited how well I did yesterday. Yeah, I can. I'll wait.
He's counting numbers.
I wasn't zoomed in here. How are we going?
You were shooting her down in a ball of flames, Pete.
Well, I didn't know where we're at here because me and rules. So what a stickler I am.
Jenny is very familiar with this organization. She worked with us for how many years?
It was, I think, 9 years,
Yeah.
almost 10.
Almost 10.
Yep. Yeah.
So welcome.
Yeah, thank you very much for having me back. It's great to see all of your faces and sort of be back at a board table. So, are all of you familiar, first of all, with the Small Business Development Center? Do you guys know how the structure is, what it entails? Should I give a really brief recap?
Yeah.
So the Small Business Development Centers are funded by the federal government, the SBA. And those funds follow through to the state, and there's a state program, and there's additional funding that goes in from the state as well. And then there's regions that are set up throughout the state. So I'm part of the Northeast Minnesota Small Business Development Center region. And it was used to be housed at the University of Minnesota Duluth, and that host structure changed, and now it's hosted under the Northland Foundation. So this piece is new to me because before we were always with the university, and it was structured a little bit differently. They've sort of gone to the model of being a lot leaner, more consultants that just work primarily from home, sort of specializing consultants. So there's, I think, 10 of us in the region, and one person does HR, one person does marketing, we've got a person that does IT. We also have like a QuickBooks consultant. And a lot of them are now independent contractors rather than being employees. So obviously that saves, some funding. And so how I got re-involved with the Small Business Development Centers is that I would always have phone calls, hey, can you help me with this? Previous clients, I'm looking for assistance, or somebody would refer, and I would just send them directly to the SBDC. Well, Kurt Walczak, who was my colleague, but is now the assistant director there, contacted me and said, hey, you know what, we've got some funding available, that we moved some funds around, and we've had some clients in your region, and we think that it would be a good fit. And so they welcomed me back. I'm a contract consultant, which is nice for me because it's flexible. And so I started in May, and have already been meeting with several clients. It's I forgot how much I missed it. Primarily what we do, is we assist entrepreneurs, startups, existing businesses, growing their businesses, managing their businesses. We do, my specialty, I think, is financials. So I work on financial projections, accounting, things like that. and it's been really interesting, and I've already been really pleased to work with some entrepreneurs that really have their stuff together, and that's exciting. And everybody, needs a little help along the way, and if you can just help them and put a little piece of that puzzle together, it's nice. And it's a free service, so there's no cost for the services. Everything we do is confidential. There's no cost to it. We don't try to do something that another agency does. So we've got the Entrepreneur Fund, and they have lending, and they also have some technical services as well. But we don't have any funds, but it's just kind of getting to know those resources again, what's out there, what's available, who are those lenders, those gap lenders, and then working with the banks and the loan officers to help with some loan packaging and things like that. So, yeah, I'm excited to start again, and so far it's been working out really well.
Yes.
So, Roger Scraba, I've never met you before.
No, oh, Roger, nice. You know what? You looked familiar.
Yeah,
Yes.
I get that all the
I
time.
did.
Well, it works. It's working then.
Roger,
Yeah, the billboards and
You see
stuff.
me? Yeah.
I think I did meet you one time. We were in Fort Francis at a workshop
Oh, sure.
that was held at the Rendezvous.
Oh, that was quite. I was
Yes.
Mayor of Ely then.
Yes, you were.
Yeah,
Yes.
Yeah, because I brought back an orange and I was going to go to jail.
Oh, yes.
You can't bring
yes.
fruit back.
Oh, yeah.
I'm looking at the
That's
guy.
right.
Can I eat it? You know,
Yeah.
it's just like so.
Yeah.
Yeah, bad memory. No.
Yeah.
So, let's say I'm a business owner,
Mm-hmm.
and I know the Northland Foundation did a lot of holding, the legislator, we gave them some money to hold for the border crisis. That
Okay,
we
right.
had Canada when it was closed down and fires and not the flooding. We just got some money for the flooding. But let's say there's a business up here and they need to expand or whatever, and they call you. Your role, do you get the others lined up? They need help with IT.
Yeah.
So you're kind of like the person to go and touch them, and then they get to use all these other. You help them get the help they need.
Well, that's right. Like if it's in my something that I feel comfortable doing, or if I feel somebody else has a better skill set within our group,
Right.
I would refer them.
That's what I
them
mean.
out.
I mean, it's
Yeah,
just
Yeah.
that's how Mayo became so successful.
Okay.
When you go down there, you don't see one doctor. They say, I'm sick. Oh, they bring in everyone and they start poking in. Pretty soon it's like, dang, I'm really getting serious.
Yeah.
But that's why they're successful. Kind of the same mentality.
Yeah.
If you bring the whole team with you, not physically, but if they need that help, you're like, I think I got someone that can help you.
Right. And then too, I'm working with a client right now that there's the Entrepreneur Fund's part of the conversation, the Northland Foundation.
Right.
Now I'm not, the Northland Foundation does a ton of
Granting
stuff.
and loans.
Yes. And I'm not, we're like, they're our host, but I'm not as familiar with the Northland Foundation and everything that they do, but
Right.
it's
so,
amazing.
So that's what I was just going to get to
Yeah.
next. And you help them learn where the money is.
Exactly.
Not get them the money.
Right.
You just show them there are these programs out here, and you're another tool to help a business to get up to speed. Because when they were in UMD, they used to come. Like City of Ely, we subsidized that. We paid
Yes.
for your position.
Yes, as did Keda.
Does Keda still, or does the City of International Falls? So no one.
No.
Because we still.
And
They
yeah.
got us, and basically for life, I mean,
Yeah.
they would come in, you don't have to do it, we're going to go under, and it was like, okay, so we helped them
Yeah.
forever.
Yeah.
But it really makes a difference.
Yes,
I
think it
can
does.
be honest saying, like some programs are like, but we had a lot of businesses that were using the SBDC, and it was like, what was the difference? What made you, well, they made me do this business plan. I didn't know I had to do a business plan.
Right.
Right? Doesn't sound like, but someone with a great idea doesn't think of those things. How long do I look out? So, and you have clients here already?
I do.
Good.
Yes. And you know what? I'm also picking up clients in Duluth because mostly it's remote. and they've had they're a little short staffed, so they've been giving me some clients there too. And that's kind of fun because the market's so much different than International Falls. Yeah.
How does this?
Well, yeah,
I'm-
to give
my
a nice
P
overview,
is
but
going really
in
fast.
previous one was when it was through UMD, we were partnered as a partial funding partner, like Ely was or some of these, because we didn't have the capacity, and it was always kind of tricky because it was kind of a part-time position, but it was difficult to get the right person with the right skill sets in a part-time position. So we were able to make it a full-time position between us funding and UMD. And a couple things. I mean, one of the reasons that I think they did reach back out to Jenny is because she had a great reputation of working with entrepreneurs. And you work across the full spectrum, right, Jenny? I mean, people that are just starting out or people that have been kind of take over a family business to those that have been around for a while. But in this environment with inflation and just the lending environment, it's got to be tough times for some entrepreneurs, and COVID still coming off of COVID. I'm sure you're seeing that, but that was interesting. Just one other thing I want to touch on is your geography, because before it was primarily Cooch, but you did a little work down the Cooch or Capitolama area.
Yes, I did.
And a little bit to the west, but
your office with the city, with the state, and the folks from the federal government, especially in the Global Chef's office that we'll be working with. Everybody's been very, very supportive. I know everybody's putting the time, and I wish by now we're talking about how many blocks of concrete has been laid on the ground. But like in they said, every good thing takes time to build. So as every day, every phone call I take, every email I address about this project reminds me that saying is true. Being a Christian, 2 weeks ago, God told me to be patient because I was about using my 74,000 sky miles from Delta to go to India, and something just said, be cool. And to my surprise, the gentleman called me, Felix, I want to let you know that I'm going to be in the U.S. on Friday, but I'm going to need some time to cool off and I'll reach out to you. And yesterday we did talk. His name is Halloween. So a brief update, Paul. This is I don't know if you received the update that I sent to Minnesota Department of Deed and Economic Development that is working with us, with the city, with your office for the MIF application. Just for recap, as David is concerned, we did mix our April-May deadline for groundbreaking for good reasons. Reasons being the little challenge and opportunities we have with the EB5. So this is where I want to start from. This project, if it's just a warehouse only, that would have been very, very great. It's the component of the warehouse, the transportation infrastructure, and the foreign trade zone. That makes this project capital intensive. So here is our first update with the EB5 investors. We've based on what we're doing with Bremer Bank, and thank God they agreed to undertake the commercial construction loan with the SBA, with the city, and with the state, and with us. We've managed to come to a point whereby we said, okay, well, we don't have to chase aggressively the EB5 investors that were looking to come in at $800,000, but now we can work with our $500,000 EB5 investors. And the reason why that is so good for now is because Bremer Bank and SBA, not that they've lowered the threshold, but they said to us, they would do the project. However, they want us to have our operating capital in place, which again turns out to be what we would have need, what every businesses would need for their capital contribution to a project such as this. So the threshold is lower, but at the same time helps us as a corporation, when the project is thus complete and we're looking at running the operation for the first 1 year, we don't cry to you or cry to the city or cry to the state for operating capital. So that's what we're going after right now. We are the EB5 investors. At this point, I'm just going to say they are very, very big group. These are logistics people in India, and they have 1 or 2 offices in the US. And again, just for the fact that this will help them boost their contract, their project with Caterpillar, because they do heavy equipment shipment, which we call in our industry oversized or out of gauge cargo. So because they know the industry, that kind of makes it a plus for us. Yeah. They have visits as soon as I know when they're going to be coming to town. I would love to defer me not going to New Jersey for the visit. I'd like to have them here so we can take a trip to International Fall, because I know every investor, every party that look at the project, look at coming to do business in the US, whenever they visit International Fall, they fall in love. So I believe that would be a good thing for me to do, to bring them, and I will inform you, your office, in time, give you enough time for us to do this. I received an email from DEED saying they are ready and they're waiting for a kind of summary of our email communication. They're waiting for us to do our housekeeping, get them the papers that they need, which is the commitment letter. So we've already had a commitment letter for DEED from Bremer Bank. The commitment letter that is we're waiting for now is the one from the EB5. There's a little bit of hurdles to go over there, because the EB5 is saying, well, because the federal minimum investment is $800,000 and they're coming with $500,000 each, they want to make sure that their money, even if it's going to be in an escrow account, it's not just in an escrow account for a year or two, without them not having the EB5 visa, which is the green card. I am drafting a letter right now that I'm going to be putting to the governor's office and to Senator Emily Goboshel's office, and a copy of that letter, when it's done, you will have for your record, just to let them know that, okay, well, I will, Onesimus, on behalf of the city and Keda, we need a kind of a formal letter from her office or from the governor's office to say, yes, their investment of $500,000 to create 10 jobs per investor will be well utilized, and the state will give the supporting letters or documents for them to be able to apply for their EB5 visas through the United States Citizen and Immigration Services Office. I have strong confidence that we'll get that, and because the Governor Weiss have mentioned in my phone conversation, in our phone meeting, that at any point we need anything, we should reach out to his office, and they will help in that area. So we believe with that, the financing aspect of this project is already, the groundwork has been done. Is now all parties involved wanted to be in a comfortable situation. So, and I believe that wouldn't be a problem, because for the EB5, it's important for your office to know and the city to know that the EB5 at one point they were concerned about okay, well, how can we find labor? What about the customers? And luckily enough, we got a call from Ashley Furniture about 3 months ago, and the reason why Ashley Furniture did not pull the plug with us for now is because the foreign trade zone authorization has not, the application is not in place, and they were in such a hurry So they are working with a company that I know very well. In fact, I saw 2 or 3 of their tractors shipment on Thursday last week in one of my previous colleagues' warehouse in the cities here. Their legal team is waiting for us to say, hey, we have the forest trade zone designation already. We have a secured area for them to bring their furnitures and their trailers and their containers to pack. And that is about, quarterly, the revenue there, I believe, will cover our operating cost. So that is one. The other customers that we're working with is we have an agent in Indonesia, in Jakarta, Indonesia, that has been helping us to look for importers in the region. So where Felix, I thought we are going to be looking at export. Well, if you don't have enough import container coming into your facility, you don't have the empties to support the export, to support the farmers, to support the auto shippers, to support the earth moving equipment shippers or the medical equipment exporters. So the knowledge of the industry shows to us that we should focus and we should focus in driving. Export is always here. There's always export in Minnesota. There's export in Wisconsin, there's export in North Dakota. So the problem is when the facility is open, do we have enough import containers to support the outgoing shipment? So that is why we have Onesimus had the consultant in Indonesia that has been helping us, and they've done a good job in working with us. And I've mentioned this to Paul numerous occasions, and I will state it here. We've got commitment for the use of the warehouse, and we've got commitment for to meet our weekly and monthly import containers to support our export. So the market response to this project has been very, very great, and it's just a question of when will the facility be open. If you hear, yesterday, the agent in Indonesia reached out to me, and there's a company in Canada that they want me to go visit, or want them to come visit, because they're going to want access into that facility as well. That is just something that happened yesterday, just to throw it in. So the next update was on, in fact, myself and Paul, we anticipated this, and that is what Paul told me right from the very beginning. How do we answer, how do we address the labor market? So this is an issue also the EB5 raised. They go to the map. When I say international fall, they go to the map, thank God, to Google Earth, and they find out that, okay, well, my God, this is not in Minneapolis. This is not in Chicago. And we have labor. What is the population? So I've told them what myself and what our office is doing with Paul's office. And I think about 2 months ago, we reached out to where I did my supply chain program, which is University of Houston. I talked to one of the professors there to help us design a training program, which we hope to begin which we hope to implement very soon. We should have visited with the college in International Fall, but I have to suspend it because the best, I believe one of the things we should do is actually close in on the construction funding and EB5 before we start putting in place. So we'll start working with the schools to bring the labor force, the workforce there, to start providing training in-house to either the drivers or the operations team or the administrative team that we believe we need. For a start, we're going to need close to about 12 people. Once the facility is fenced, and authorized for foreign trade zone, we're going to need at least 1,000 people and of the dozen people, a dozen headcount, 4 of them will be office, and 1 will be in the yard, and 6 will be on the road. And we need to have them all trained ready so that the compliance with the cross-border activities, customs, and the foreign trade zone management processes. So that will be, I believe, within the next couple of weeks here, we're going to be finishing with I'm going to be meeting with Bremer Bank and hearing from the Entrepreneur Fund to see how the funding package is being addressed, and I can come back and give your office information as to when the construction team is going to be there to be doing something actively. We do have an opportunity for 10 container, I believe, every week or every other week to begin our revenue process in international force, and I'm still looking at that. So that would be the reason why I'm going to be coming to international for within the fortnight to look for a place where we can use. Thank God, because of the shipping transit times. By that I mean the transit time from Asia, from Africa, from South America to the U.S. is because of the unrest in the Mediterranean, in the war, because of the war in Ukraine and what they're doing in the Middle East. The shipping companies are having to divert their vessels, and that has increased the transit time. And actually, that we see that as a good thing or bad. It's not a bad thing, also it's not a good thing. But that has delayed the IF event, which is one of our primary clients, and the group that is agreed to set up a shop in international falls. Their shipment is currently in the waters. A shipment that was supposed to have a 55 days sailing is now almost 75 days sailing. The container left Lagos port on the 12th. To my surprise, it's going to be here in the month of August. So, which is unusual, but it's due to the political unrest, not in the U.S. market, but outside the U.S., and that we don't have control. So it's a blessing in disguise. So that gives us enough time to plan for me to come to international falls and look for alternative facilities to the old Super 1 PD that we were looking at securing before. So all of that being said, the project is in place. We've missed a couple of timelines just because of the funding, the multi-layer funding process or steps that is involved in the general project development. The benefit to that is that that is giving us the opportunity to actually make sure that we continue our customer facing, to make sure that we have customers to actually come patronize the facility when it is opened for business. Even before it is officially launched, we anticipate that we're going to be doing about 30% or 30 to about 40% of businesses before it is officially launched. So just as a recap, then I will take a question. Our funding process is going on. Bremer Bank is in place. They've agreed to take the construction loan, and our EB5. They are ready. We just need to, on our own end, work with your office and work with the state and AB Global Shop's office to give them some kind of a breather later, a confirmation later that yes, they're not investing $800,000 to create 10 jobs, but there are $500,000 for 10 jobs each will be honored, and the state and the federal government will support them to secure their green card. The business on the marketing and the business aspect of it, we're doing well. Our not first client, we have several of our clients. Like I mentioned, Ashley Furniture is on board. if event is already there. Indo-Pacific Asia in Indonesia, a company that is into the alkaline water production, they are set and ready. And this other new company that we just started looking into. So we've got commitment, we've got a letter of engagement and a letter of intent to use the facility when it's open. So customers are now saying, when is it going to be open? Just like Ashley said, they said, Felix, if it's going to be 6 months, we cannot do it. What we have right now, we're going to take it somewhere. And I respectfully agree with them on that. And I'm going to be frank, I played a huge role in working with them to make sure that they have a home with Murphy Warehouse. What do we do? What do we do in terms of having our presence there? Because of event shipment and their packaging and processing stuff, we have discussed this with Post Office that we plan on coming to International Falls to look for an alternative facility to use and to begin the process. That will give me a visibility, that will get me involved in helping to create a workforce that we will need when the facility is ready to go full force. On that note, I will pause and I will take questions. And I want to thank you for the opportunity to speak to the International Fall Multimodal Transportation and Foreign Trade Zone Joint Project Development.
Thank you. Any questions? Felix. Thank you for the update. We appreciate it, and we'll be talking. So thank you again. Bye
Thank
now.
you, Felix.
No, thanks, Paul. I appreciate it. Again, we owe you on behalf of my very self, our board, and my partners in this project. And they would be partners. I want to thank the Koochiching Economic Development Authority, your office, Paul, and Joanne, the EB5, and even for you guys to meet with Bremer Bank when I was not there. When I did visit with them, the Bremer Bank Jen Ryan told me, and this is our word. Felix, every time I go to International Fall and talk about this project, I see the benefit of this project for our region. So I'm kind of paraphrasing what she shared with me when I visited with her to hear from her how the meeting went, and she was very happy. And thank you for being gracious to us. And anytime we're not International Falls and Post Office talk to would-be client or anyone to do this project, to me, it means a lot to me. It means a lot to our organization. It means a lot to my board. And I want to thank you for the opportunity to do this. We will do this. We will finish it, and it will be in the words of Donald Trump. It will be bigly.
All right.
Very good.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, much.
We'll move on to the. Do you have any comments? Did you hang them up?
Is he done?
He's gone.
Okay. Do you have any comments about it?
I just, so this is the side rail off the main for the storage for
Correct.
everything. Warehouse. And, good.
Okay.
Just good.
All right. Yes, Paul.
Well, I would just say, and you can tell that Felix is coming at this, and the funding, the equation for the funding got a little complicated. So that's one of the reasons for the delays, because they've had to do pre-construction financing through Bremer, and then they've got these foreign investors. The foreign investor program they referenced a number of times, the EB5, is somewhat complicated to set up, and you have to have commitment letters, and there's a whole federal process that you got to go through. And like everything, it just takes a little bit longer. And so commend Felix for having to come at this and get creative with it. But all indications of the people I've talked to, in fact, Joanne is working with them from the Entrepreneur Fund as part of that package as a gap things are moving along, and it's just going to take a bit. So, yeah, it's a little bit more complicated.
Bremer is the main
Correct.
funder. All right.
How many are like this on the border?
Like this, boy, that's a good question. Not a lot. There are warehouse facilities. CN owns a number of them. There's some in the UP. Yeah, there is.
There's one in Michigan.
Michigan and Buffalo, New York, that area. But
Right.
for this central corridor, for CN Central Corridor, this is the furthest north. There's one in Winnipeg, but on the
I
border.
mean, is this going to drive more international business to you?
Yeah, that's
was
the whole.
here.
That's the whole. He referenced Indonesia,
Yeah, that's what I was trying to.
Africa, and that's part of his network.
So they're putting the parts together here instead of somewhere else.
Well, they'll be shipping to this location and then shipping back out in a variety of forms, and that's what they're going to. They're going to either repackage it, repalletize it, and then break it out and ship it into different locations from here where it makes sense. Otherwise, they'll. He mentioned Ashley Furniture, Caterpillar. There's some fairly large players that hopefully that he's worked with that are going to be part of this project.
Yeah, good,
Yeah.
good.
All right. We'll.
Number of jobs, any?
30. Well, initially he mentioned a dozen for like year
Right.
one, and then 33 after year two.
How much room do you have to grow?
There's a plan for phase two out there. There's enough room at the multimodal.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he's looking at Super One for.
He wasn't. That's since
up.
been passed.
Because
It's
it's
been
the tool place.
purchased, right?
I didn't know if there was a combination.
Yeah.
there. Okay.
All right.
Thank you. Sorry.
No, that's
Oh,
good.
quite all right.
It's complicated. Just a couple other items. I met with Sean Haney, who now manages the Northland Connection website for Northspan. If any of you aren't aware that the Northland Connection it's a regional 8-county website that focuses primarily on available real estate, commercial real estate, both buildings and land, business parks, etc. We've joined in the past. We haven't been quite as active since COVID, and Sean's new, so we had a chance to reconnect. And I believe, is it $1,500 a year to join? It just gives you better visibility in a regional environment. And so we have some room at the Falls Business Park and still at the multimodal, and North Home still would be in place. So we want to stay at least and be seen as part of the region. So it was a good cheap. Yeah, and they have a number of now. They've added some additional economic development tools and resources for business and for communities and EDA. So it's a good value, I think.
I can't just being on what, because we've got a couple from our city sites since it got, residential, whatever, saw these plots were there.
I did want to reference too that the Koochiching Housing Collaborative, Isaac Meyer, he was the former Housing Development Director for Kootaska Action Committee. He's taken a new position with Itasca County, so he is leaving that role. And he's chaired our collaborative for the past 7 years, and he was really a key in the funding and the development of the AB School apartment project. Scarlett Bennett has been named as his replacement, so the collaborative will go on, but it will just look a little differently. And the focus is still, there's just a lot of emphasis on housing and all different types of housing. That the need is still there. So we think that it's important to keep the collaborative alive. And after our last meeting, we did have a chance, and I know a number of you folks, either it's the city or the county or the Kootaska folks, have toured the building, the AB school, and I was quite impressed. I just by the size of the apartments, just the quality that at least that I saw, and I think they're going to do quite well. They said that there's a number of the waiting list is,
I believe so, yeah.
yeah.
At our last meeting, yeah, they talked about there's people.
And the blackboards, leaving blackboards
Yeah.
and chalkboards in, and all of a sudden you'll go into a closet and there's a chalkboard in the closet that runs through the wall, and it was leaving some of the history of the school and that into the apartment buildings is just phenomenal.
What is really neat too, they, with the windows they're gonna put in
Yeah.
there. And that's, Isaac told us at our Koochiching, they don't open all the way up anymore, so there shouldn't be any shenanigans with
Can't worry about kids falling
and all
down
the
or people
window
hanging by
being
their
out,
ankles.
yeah. Which I heard happened, never involved in any part of that, but yeah.
Well, and that's the thing that Scarlett shared with us too, is that historic tax credit is critical for the funding piece, but it comes with its own set of challenges because you've got to meet all these requirements, and there's a review even on some of keeping some of the historic elements. But I think in the end, it's going to be the outcome's been very nice, and I know it's been a long time coming. So,
Did they have to leave a portion of the building alone and use it as a common area?
yes,
Because we had a community center in Ely. We had a gentleman that wants to put high-end hotel in, and he's working with the Historical Society. I call them the Hysterical Society. And his plan was this, and they said, "Oh no, you got to leave that whole floor." Just and he's like, "No,
Yeah.
no,
But
no. We'll leave the stage and we'll leave this much, but not the whole thing." And then there was negotiation. Then they came to us and asked us, and we're like, it's going to be a hotel. We don't have any say in it anymore. People that are going to come there, that little bit is enough to make your imagination run what it used to be. So I don't know if they had that kind of a trouble or.
well, they did the windows and some of the other features.
And I think that might be, every now and then you hear a comment about the lack of an element, but that was part of the problem, I think, with the all the stuff they'd have to do.
Yeah, they were leaving the library with the sliding rails that you walk up to get the books up. They're leaving that part, and then there was a part would be to the east of that there, which can't remember what that room was for. It was the one lady said it was a teacher's coffee room or something.
Yeah.
And that room is going to be the common room.
Yeah.
For the thing,
Okay.
so it's,
And I think so. I think you can work it together where it like you said, it actually accentuates the building, the uniqueness with the library ladder in there and that the same thing is with the old part of the courthouse that was refurbished with historic funds.
Yeah.
And there's things that they to this
But the
day
neat
I remember
features-
putting in cameras and stuff in the courtroom and stuff. You had to do that, but.
Yeah, the big courtroom upstairs.
Yeah.
They brought that back to
Yeah. Yeah, and there was
former glory.
and it's
That
okay
was
to have some
25
history
years ago now.
still there.
Yeah, the teacher's lounge, though, they said the teacher's lounge, somebody correct them, says a teacher's smoking room.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh yeah, junior high guy, they'd open those
That's
doors.
what they used to be.
Oh yeah, they come rolling out of there. Yeah.
I thought that was pretty good when they corrected them on that tour. That's teacher's smoking room.
Yeah.
One of the other elements I thought was really cool, they kept one of the boiler doors.
Yeah.
It must
Oh,
have
yeah.
weighed 600
Yeah.
pounds. And they actually kept it and are
Mounted
mounted
it.
on the, it's pretty cool.
Yeah. So I think using old buildings is admirable, especially and I don't know what kind of folks are renting or who are going to live in these.
It's going to be income based. It's not going to be market rate. So it's going to be a pretty wide 30% of your income. And
But if you make there'll be a spot for you depending on your family number. If at $15 to $35 an hour. So when people hear affordable funding, they get. But these are people, like we all know it.
Right.
Yeah, jobs, family, and that's part of it. Yeah.
So it's current. It's not like retirement housing.
No, be a combination thereof, and there's going to be one apartment's going to be a crisis apartment for whether it's vets or someone with mental. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
The lower ones are all
gonna be the
accessible.
handicap.
They're all handicap
I'm
accessible.
seeing a lot, again, because I sit on capital investments, the committee, I toured the state, and I've seen a lot of these rehabs, these kind of things, and I'm the one specific building was just for women who were threatened
Yep.
with children. It's an issue, and to get one room, that's good, you know. But your community has more than that, and it's, so how can we help in these little things to keep people safe and that sort of thing.
It's a lot. I think it's mental stuff like that. Crisis room.
But one of the things I've seen, especially in Ely and other communities, as people age, they want to get rid of their home on the lake, and they sell it, but they want to be here. But they want someone to mow the grass, shovel the snow, all that. We can't get enough of that.
No.
We can't build it fast enough, and it's the waiting list lines up every year. So it's I don't know if you guys are doing anything with that or trying to find anyone.
I think so.
with that.
Well, some new ones are going in Rainier on the corner.
But we're constantly, we're always we're willing to help the most we can, both entities, if someone wants to develop it. I think it's common knowledge in town. I mean, for contractors and stuff.
Because this is 12 to 2,000 a month.
Yeah.
And no one's blinking an eye.
Yeah.
1,200 to 2,000 a month.
And a perfect example is that how they started out at Bowman's Airways there.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that started many years ago, but as people started age, they're. I just thought, and I mentioned on the radio the other day, we've got 2 big projects in AB, and thanks to you guys, building the new jail, which isn't always an easy thing. We talked about many times. That's close to $40 million, and there's local people working there with a lot of the contractors. So that's.
All
right.
Yes, just to wrap up, I'm sorry. We found out from Nathan Heibel that there's going to be a Berger, that's the site of the horticultural peat bog. There's a site visit that's planned with the county on Wednesday, September 11th, and it's been quite a while since I've been on site, and there's activity there, so I'm looking forward to that. The Chamber of the International Falls Area Chamber created this area resource guide, which I think turned out really well. It's got a little bit of everything in there, and it covers the whole county, and even into Ash River and Captoga. But it's pretty extensive, and I know they spent a lot of time in it. So if you haven't seen it, it looks good. And one last thing, I don't know, a lot of you might know the name Andy Hubley. He was with ARDC for many years. He was the head planner in the planning division. He has resigned from ARDC, and Alan and I are on that board, and he'll be missed. But so that's constant change.
Is he going trout fishing?
I don't know, but anyway, he'll be missed.
I was there when he started.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
All right. Any questions? More questions? Thank you. The next we'll do the belated treasurer's report.
I've almost forgotten about it now. First it will be the Keda financial reports itself. There is no transfers. Once again, everything looked in order, and I would recommend approving.
All right. Any questions?
Is this the one?
It's Koochiching economic.
And this is from January to June? This is here 6 months?
Yep.
I just a couple notes. I went through it fastly. I see your plowing and runway maintenance is really in check.
Yes.
Budgeted 5,100, you spent none.
That's cold weather testing. We got
that's the one I was wondering which one you were going to. Okay, I'll wait.
All right.
All right. Any other comments about the Keda?
Nope.
Okay. We have a motion from Treasurer Taylor.
Support.
Right. So support from All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Very good. Now we'll go to
Cold weather.
testing.
Yeah, cold weather testing, we had transfers of 18,000 to Keda. I'll pay some bills, I'm assuming, and other than that, and yes, we didn't spend a whole lot of money on snow removal. and I would recommend approving these also.
All right. Questions? Yes.
I'll support
Representative Sproul.
and question. Safety coordinator got a raise? Is that what that is? From 27 to 37?
Which page?
Repairs,
Under repairs and maintenance, and there's more out.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, we have to have a person on site at all times
Yeah.
when there's people operating.
Yeah.
So there's just more hours
Okay,
and
that's-
more need for it, yeah.
and then, so this is just 6 months. So this is gonna add up from June to December again. There's gonna get,
Our activity will start in end of October, November.
Right.
So during the summer, there's very little activity, so.
right.
We just give you that 6-month look. And one other thing I would just note too, if you go to the next page to the balance sheet, under the receivables, you'll see a fairly significant number that we're still waiting on, $265,805. That's the nature of this business, is slow payment from some of these some of our customers, but it's the good news is that we'll be, we've got a pretty good flow of revenue coming, but again, it takes time, and we don't know exactly when all this is going to land. There's a lot of variables there, but anyway, we've got funding coming from those folks.
And that I have noticed too, that comparing the actual nets, that we're like way ahead.
Yeah.
That way, but things are going,
We're
and that's with no, like last year had the gap funding. This is all just coming in, so that. But
And keep in mind that there are some projects that are ongoing over there, so you'll be seeing those.
Well, one of the things I did note, just looking at everything, all the other expenses are all up compared to last year. Like electricity, just the inflation stuff, just supplies for cleaning, everything. Just up, and
it's hard to budget.
The madness needs to stop. Is what I'm trying.
The utility costs are just really tough. Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Any other comments? All in favor of the cold weather testing report from Treasurer Kaler, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Very good. Next item is a city and county update. We will begin with you.
Yeah, well, then we got our jail going, and it looks like things are happening over there. Lots of trucks and lots of digging, so it's good to see that we're finally getting it going, and hopefully the rain holds off so it can move along.
Sure. Any other comments?
They got all, well, we worked with the city getting the rerouting of the storm sewer line, which saved the money for the county because of the rerouting that line ahead of time. We didn't have to put a temporary line in, which would have probably cost us another $75,000 to $100,000 for a temporary line. So the city got on that right away this spring and got that line rerouted. So saving us money on our jail and getting a thing and fixing the streets at the same time. So things are looking forward that way. Yeah, it's looking good over there.
Good. Very good.
Once we used our play shovels, they were using the real ones. Right after. Matter of fact, they told us we had to get going.
Yeah.
That's where people were congregating, man.
All right. Comments from the city.
Well,
Councilor Buller.
just we were there to help while I was there to help with the support of the jail. Yeah, very good. Like I say, I commend them for building the jail. It's not always the most popular thing, but it's going to be, in the long run, the best thing for the county. And 4th of July was a raging success, I'd say, pretty much the whole week, except for getting rained out on Monday. Anything else, or just
Ran into a little difficulty on removal of the charred band shell. With MPCA put another stipulation that we had to go.
We had got 2 different what we had to do.
Yeah,
So.
somebody was on vacation, and the other one gave us go ahead to do it, and he came back from vacation, and then it was all broke loose again. So
Asbestos stuff.
yeah, it was asbestos fought. But anyway,
and then
moving forward, permits are all in. Everything.
Yeah.
They were waiting for them to say okay.
Now we're back to the contractor having a timeline
Yeah.
to get, and he's busy at the jail right now.
Digging across the street.
Yeah, but it'll come down, and that's in the process. We got architect looking at it, or a planner or designer. So you know what we can do? All I can tell, there will be some type of top, and other than that, depending on what we can and can't use. Then our city road truck, well, they got all the punch out things pretty much taken care of from last year, and they'll be starting soon here. And we added this year, wasn't on the list, but the frontage road in front of Border State Bank.
A temporary fix.
Till the highway. Another thing that got pushed, the Highway 71 there, coming in, you had to help take care from there to the old Holiday Inn entrance, then starting at Hardy's down that one where Super One was, and the intersection there by Menards, I believe it's at Valley Pine. That was added this year for a temporary fix, because those are both getting pretty bad, and the one, of course, the Super One's going to even get more use. But then everything else is...
Yeah, that's just going to be a curb mill. We're going to mill down by the curb about 1.5 inches so that we can match into the curb, and then just overlay the rest of it, just because of the fact that they're patching every time there's a couple loads of cold mix going in there every rain, and every time it happens on there, and it's a business road. We need to do something with it. So.
Oh, good. Nobody here lives on Shorewood Drive. I don't know. Then there's going to be emergency culvert replacement there that we were planning on. But other than that,
Very good, thank you.
All right.
And now our county historian, Citizen Hanson.
Well, thank you, Mr. Chair. And I appreciate holding the meeting in Northholm last month. From Little Fork has a brand new city administrator, or not, excuse me, not administrator, city administrator. Her name is Holly Hoy, and she would like the folks to know that the Northern Minnesota District Fair, which was just in town last weekend, and new this year was paintball and the car show. She thought it was well attended. They got a grant through the Blandon Foundation of $20,000 they had applied for. It'll be used as part of a small communities and rural placemaking, our RFP. And other than that, she said that it's business as usual, and of course her learning curve is pretty high. In Big Falls, the young lady who is the administrator there, Veronica Bistoto, they finally awarded a bid to start their new campground project, and they're hoping that construction will start next month. The Koochiching County Fair in Northholm, happening August 9th, 10th, and 11th, and they're having new runway lights installed at their airport. So, they also add that there's always something happening in Northholm, and they appreciate our support. And mention Paul and Kyra. In Birchdale, since we met, we had the America's Parade. The theme this year was the greatest show on earth. And I'd like to thank Representative Scraba for coming. I had the greatest show on earth was based on a circus. So I asked almost everyone I knew if I could borrow their elephant.
all taken.
Well, yeah.
All were busy on.
Well, we got an elephant. And I don't know if you noticed in the Gazette, picture of the elephant, and as it went by me, it even sprayed me with water. So this was the real deal. And I'm always surprised at how many people come to Birchdale for that parade, and where did they come from? I mean, it's just amazing how many people come there. So it was all in fun, and of course afterwards there was a lot of old-fashioned games and stuff for kids and for anybody. Different kinds of races, the shoe kick. I did notice that in 1905 on the 4th of July in International Falls, they even had a fat man's race, which probably is not prudent these days.
Mike, I do half marathons once in a while, and they call us over 200 pounds. They call us Clydesdales.
This past weekend, they hosted a band and a burger one evening, and then the next day they had Birchdale's Jubilee and music all day. Furnished 3 complete meals for everybody, and had a bunch of other activities there. And of course, it was just a beautiful day. Coming up in August 17th is the 33rd annual North American Sturgeon Championships. And 10 years ago, we added a special one just for kids. And local merchants and financial institutions have been wonderful. The kids fish free. Every kid that comes there, and the most we've had is like 270, every kid gets at least something. And we give them, there's prizes, and the longest fish gets maybe a brand new rod and reel all set up, and so it's pretty fun. And it's amazing now how many kids are brought by their parents from a long way away. And then following that, we'll have a 4-hour North American Sturgeon Championships. So
when is that?
It's the 17th of August. And Mr. Chair, I was wondering if do we have time for a little story?
Sure.
Oh,
If it's a little story.
About 6 or 7 years ago, a young man from Carlsbad, Minnesota, his name was Ian Gustafson, fished and won. And I can't remember what the prize was, but it was over $2,000. And I'm thinking he was 16, 17 years old. And when I was giving him the money, giving him the check, I said, well, now you can buy your mother and dad supper tonight. He said, oh no, they got their own money. So they kept coming back. Every year they came back. And I could see Ian just growing, going to be a young man. And according to his mother and father, he was always real generous with his time. And he took some cousins fishing on the Red River. And they did good. They caught fish. And just before they were going to quit, he noticed a real shallow area where there was a lot of fins sticking up. So he went to shore and was fishing offshore, and he was catching some big fish. And he was showing them to his cousins when he slipped and fell in the water and got sucked right down. Well, he was a strong swimmer. He passed away. He drowned. So what we do in Birchdale is we have a special Ian Gustafson honorary chairman, and his mother and dad come every year, and they bring all sorts of stuff for kids that fish in that tournament. So we try to make sure that he's not forgotten, and it's wonderful that they do that too. I'm probably forgetting some things, Mr. Chair, but I know you guys get sick of me. So.
No, that's a great tribute.
Great story. Yeah.
I'm familiar with Carlsbad.
yeah. Yeah.
That's where my wife graduated from high school, and we used to beat the hell out of them in basketball.
Your story turned out. Well, let's.
All right.
I got one more thing. I would be remiss to talk about our celebration on 4th of July if I don't mention some young man stole the show at kids karaoke, I heard.
Okay, next item is the public comment period.
Representative Scrabble?
Oh, I was in your.
Any state update?
There's so many balls in the air. I can't even. I'm trying to think about what would just be for Cooch County. Not right offhand. The flooding y'all are dealing with. I don't know if did it ever get bad? Do you know?
No.
It was all manageable so far.
So far.
Okay, yeah. Again, I was here, Birchdale, High Falls, Big Falls Parade. I did all of them, and it's just good to see everyone out. I did 2 back and forth parades that day, Birchdale and Big Falls, where you walk one way, you turn around, and you come back the other. It's not the same. It's like when you know you're having that kind of parade, you work the people on the right there, and you work the people on the left over there. So it's an interesting. They're good, great parades, but I'm trying to think if there's anything else that there's going to be a shovel groundbreaking for customs at the end of the month on the 30th. I believe that's what I was told.
Groundbreaking or just information? We got a
Is it a
pack
meeting?
in our packet that says it's just information.
Okay.
Coffee landed at 9 o'clock, and then that back us at 5 o'clock.
Okay, that's what it is. It's just
Yeah,
information.
Asking for input, and they have more design work done than last time when he came.
Okay,
up here.
so the information I got was, I wasn't sure what it was.
Unless they're having the groundbreaking on Tuesday and the information on
No.
30th.
That's the only thing they said on the
Yeah.
30th would be
Okay, so it's they're still designing.
Yeah.
Okay,
more input. They have design,
Yeah,
more
lots of
design done and more input.
okay.
All right.
They're trying to find
Yes,
out
you have
roundabouts
more-
or street through.
Well, I have one more thing, and
Okay.
I just wanted to let Mr. Roach know this. His mom bought a brand new car, a Camaro convertible, and it's beautiful, absolutely beautiful. And I just want him to know that last time she was in Birchdale, she told me that if I gave her some walleye, I could have the car.
I know you're full of it now.
You give her any walleye?
Yep.
Oh, well, then maybe
I go to Shop's Reef and buy all the wall I can
You
get.
can't,
Oh,
you can do
yeah.
that.
Best
He
refund.
can't get them. I was in there. He says, I haven't had walleye for a long time. He said, I cannot get them. It's just killing me.
Well, whatever he gets for fish is good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it is. Yeah,
Really?
but the walleye he can't get. I wanted to take some down out to Oregon to the kids, and he says, "Well," he says, "I'm sorry,
Zoops.
I can't."
Well, I-
Zoops and
I-
Ely
I-
has
car.
walleye.
I think
They got it at Super One too.
I think we are we're through with the social hour.
Yep.
Yep.
I'll move to adjourn.
Well, we have to set the next meeting. So we'll put a belated adjournment on.
We won't forget it.
So the third Wednesday is the 21st of August. How does that look? Okay?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Now I'll entertain your motion.
Okay.
We have a motion to adjourn from Commissioner McIntyre
Support.
and a second from Representative Scraba. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Very good.